Let's see. Is this going to end here? Will our players stay alive? Well, spawning in the bottom left position as our red Terran player. He took a pretty good game one. It was a very back and forth match. Dropped game number 2 and 3 to some pretty aggressive builds from our Protoss opponent. He is alive. And spawning in the top right position as the green Protoss. He's got some really great control, I have to say. Some really amazing blinks. Great Warp Prism Micro in the first game. And then just some solid force fields to secure the victory in game number 2. It is Rox.Kis Fraer. So, Neoplanet S. It's an interesting map. Ooh, this probe's actually going out to scout pretty early. Early probe scouts like this can sometimes be indicative of a Nexus first, but he wants to make very sure that aLive's not going to go for some gas play. And I think now might be the time to mix it up for aLive. Or he just needs to, if he wants to go for this economic style again, he needs to make sure he has all of his bases covered very well. Fraer is not afraid to go Nexus first into 5-gate. He is not afraid to go 4-gate into Blink into DT. He's not afraid to send a really early probe scout to deal some damage. And we have a gateway opening actually out of Fraer. No gas just yet, so you could be looking to just a gateway expand. I feel like even if you gateway expand, you want to get a gas up just for defensive purposes, so you can smoothly move into Cybercore. But there's that gas. It's a little bit later than usual, but maybe he's looking to go for a pretty fast expand in this game. aLive moving out across the field now. This pro's been putting quite a bit of a nuisance to aLive. He's got 2 of these SCVs, one of them orange, one yellow. He hasn't been able to start his natural command center yet. Now he's going to send an SCV down there. There will be a Marine out in time to help deal with this pesky probe problem. But Fraer is pretty much going to be able to see this. This command center is going to be a tiny bit delayed. The Marine needs to go down there now. If he starts it at 400 minerals, this probe will see it. There he goes. He's going to go to build it. He might just sack the probe to make sure. But, he's going to back away against that Marine. Now, aLive does see everything that he needs. He might know, ooh, interestingly, your gas is pretty low. But he's going to get that cybernetics core at a normal time as well. So, I have to say, this isn't, the expansion isn't as fast as I thought it would be. But the probe's going to hit down to the natural now. There's no way he can go for an engineering bay block this game, though, because the Zealot's there, of course. It's able to kill the SCV pretty quickly, can help deal a lot of damage to the engineering bay. And honestly, I think both players are in a pretty even position now. Although aLive might be getting a little stressed, might be thinking, okay, I've taken a lot more damage than I wanted to in these past couple of series. The 4-gate, the 5-gate after Nexus first. This has been a pretty difficult series so far after the first game. So he's dropped the last 2 maps. He needs to do something that is going to bring him a lot more comfortability, bring him back into this game, and help secure a victory. But here we have the double barracks follow-up. He's going to go for the double gas follow-up again as well. And this is what he needs to do. But this is not going to be by any means easier. But I will say, we haven't seen a macro game in this series just yet, aside from game number 1, which was, Hellion drops all over the place. So it wasn't quite your normal game. Neo Arkanoid tends to force very interesting games. SCV is going to come up here and scout for a fast third base, but a Stalker poised right on time, actually. Man, that was like the mailman with that pickup. Zealot is outside the natural, so he's going to be able to see, ooh, you have an SCV moving in. Well, how these Marines are going to try to just step forward, try to catch that Zealot. Will not be able to do so. The Stalker is rolling on up, though, and another probe is going to be sent out, possibly for a proxy. But the way it's looking right now, he's only going for a 3-gate follow-up. He could do pressure with his 3 gateways. We've had aLive play pretty greedily most of these games in terms of his bunker timings. So Fraer might try to take advantage of this again. He has a Zealot at the 3rd. Probe's outside the natural. I wonder if it's going to do anything. Ooh, Stalker catches another SCV scout, and all the Marines are gone. The Stalker and the Zealot and the Sentry are going to go put pressure on this natural expansion, and there's a proxy pylon going up. This is the worst timing humanly possible for aLive to move out of his base. He has 2 Marines in here. He's going to start another bunker. A very smart decision, but he's going to need to be very quick to pull on the repair. There is a Sentry here. It will have enough energy for 2 force fields. The Marines are moving into the natural, though. He's going to pick off 1 probe, 2 probe, 3 probes now moving into the main base. There's a Zealot going to stutter step backwards Two of them, one of them is very, very low. If he can pick off the Zealots, that would make this a little bit better. But I'm not so sure he's going to be able to pick up too many more unit kills here. Oh, gets another 2 probes. So really great catch, actually, by aLive. Focuses down the probe that's coming back to mine. Really great control. This is aLive knowing what he needs to do. Says, okay, catching the Stalker is going to be very hard. If I can kill this sentry of the probe, that'd be great. The Stalker has such low hit points. It only has 2 hit points. The Marines are running, trying to catch it. There's 1 Marine. Will he be the hero? No, that Stalker is going to get away. But will anything be able to kill it in time? 3 sentries warped in. That Stalker is, man, he's on a marathon run getting away here. Oh, gets the last hit on that Marine. Man, that Marine had big hopes and aspirations. Wasn't able to pull anything off, though. And it looks like this pressure went in, but wasn't able to do too much. I can't remember. I think these units were actually pulled back. So I think so. aLive's defended any form of aggression pretty well. We have 7 probes killed versus 2 SCVs. So aLive's in a really solid spot. And I have to say, compared to the other games, aLive has been trying to force this macro game. He's been doing everything that he can to actually get to the later stages because that's where he's most comfortable. But we have Fraer, time and time again, here we go. He's got 6 sentries basically saying, hey man, this game's ending now. Stim is not complete yet. It's about to finish. There are no SCVs available to pull to repair these bunkers. He has a 3rd and a 4th one in the back, though. Really greatly positioned. These Marines and Marauders doing as much damage as they can. Attacking from the high ground on these Stalkers. This choke is so small on Neo Planet S. Marines are taking pot shots, but the SCVs are poised to repair. And I do not believe there's actually any tech available for Fraer. Yeah, he's just on these 5 warp gates again. The SCV is in the base. It sees everything. He's going to try to move in maybe again now. There are a couple of force fields left. He's got at least 5 of them. So he can try to seal this off, but I feel like there's such a good concave available for aLive. The Marauders and the bunkers deal so much damage. And he's going to try to bait these forces out. 1 force field does whiff. But the follow-up for aLive is looking pretty good. I will say, though, this is another one of those games where he doesn't have a factory. It's going to be started at the 10-minute mark. So without medevacs, counterattacking is really difficult. And this gives, without medevacs, this is going to give Fraer a lot of time to go home, get that robotics facility up, possibly move in to take a 3rd base, and maybe get some upgrades going. I think Fraer hasn't actually gotten... I think the total upgrade count is all Fraer's gotten in this game is like +1 attack in the first game. With all the early aggression he's been going for. Even in the last game, aLive had 1-1 by the time it was over. So he's very focused on the macro. He's really trying not to die to anything. I think these SCVs need to go back, though. Once he kills this pylon, he should send these repairing SCVs to go mine. He's losing out on a lot of income. These mineral patches are barely being worked at. There we go. Cancel some of the bunkers. Should pull those SCVs, I have to say. Looking at the income, he's actually hurting himself a lot by having all these SCVs sitting here repairing. But take out another proxy pylon, and I feel like this game's starting to normalize a bit. We have the robotics bay on the way for Fraer. He's getting up his blink. And we have additional barracks on the way, and that starport should be starting as well now for aLive. Observer moving across the field. He's going to get his first bits of internal scouting information, but there's a big push coming out from aLive. He has Stim and concussive shed. He says, medevacs aren't done yet, but I don't think you're going to have Colossi or really anything to deal with this. Maybe I want to punish a 3rd base that you could possibly be going for. But this observer is going to actually miss the whole army, so this is looking a little bit scary. SCV Scout says, okay, you got force fields, a Zealots, and an Immortal. Well, the force fields and the Zealots don't work terribly well in conjunction unless you can force field me into you, in which case I have way more units. So Fraer is going to try to just force these units away. The first Colossi is coming. He's getting that blink, so he got a good number of Stalkers, but taking a fight here would be very risky. These Stalkers can get a lot of high ground shots, and that's one of the great things about medevacs, that when you push without medevacs, you don't realize how good medevacs are for pushing until you push without them. You realize, oh my goodness, okay, I can't really stim. I'll take too much damage from stimming myself. I won't have high ground vision to take out the Stalkers that are on the cliff. I need to play this a little bit more carefully, but it looks like aLive could be trying to poke. He really needs to make sure he doesn't force this. Should wait for the medevacs. We have the first 2 medevacs on the way now. About halfway done. I love this engineering base going. We need an armory, though. He's going to need an armory and another engineering bay. I really want to see him continue to focus on these upgrades. There's still none for Fraer. He's going to move out here. A couple force fields, try to pinch off a few of these units. Stalkers blink forward. This bio will have to stim to run home. Really, really great play by aLive. He's actually going to stim a couple of units and leave them behind, but they're going to get caught. This is looking very, very scary. Fraer has a big supply lead now. especially for TvP. The third command center is on the way in base, but he salvaged the bunkers. He needs to rebuild all of them. The observer saw that the bunkers were gone. He sees, okay, they're not done yet. This is the best timing I possibly could make to try to do this push and just kill you. There are no Vikings on the field. The first 2 medevacs are only just out. Where are the medevacs? He's going for a drop towards the natural expansion, but is he overcommitting with this? There are so many units here for Fraer. This is madness. He has so much. There are a lot of SCVs pulled though, and this is what he needs to do. The drop goes into the natural expansion. There are stalkers here, but they will not be enough to defend this. A ton of probes are going down. The second Colossus is being chrono boosted out. Excuse me, the third Colossus, and this is going to be very, very scary. If he can take out the pylon building that'd be huge. The probes are all going to die at the natural, though, so really great catch. But the Stalkers are just going to blink into the main. Absolutely amazing tactics. He can force field the units into the main base outside of the natural, and that's exactly what he's going to do. These sentries are moving up. Oh, my goodness. He's got live completely locked out. The force field's pinching these units together. This AoE damage doing so much. The natural is forfeit, but so is the natural for Fraer. These Colossi are doing so much. I'm not too sure aLive has what he needs to break out of this. These force fields are going to keep him away forever, and he didn't lift the command center. He's going to lose his natural, and that's really, really big, especially because he killed all the probes at the natural, but that Nexus is still there. He can double chrono out probes to bring them back, and that was, wow, what a crazy engagement. There's not too much AA. He can blink the Stalkers forward, but aLive is barely hanging on, and this is one of the scariest positions to be in as a Terran player, because your opponent can force the engagement. It's so difficult to actually get snipes off on these Vikings to try to hit the Colossi. And with the observer positioning, this is perfect. He knows everything. Look at the vision for Fraer. He sees everything. The Vikings move forward, boom, blink. Dark Shrine. This is even crazier. He's just shown how much he loves this. He's really been favoring this more interesting levels of play. 2 Marauders are going to run in here and try to poke. aLive's going to try to micro, but I'm not sure the APM is worth it to invest on that. And you know what? Fraer's just going to go home, and that's a pretty smart move. He can just go home, max out, try to max out. But I think with the way that meals work, aLive's going to be he's going to be able to pull himself back into this game, possibly, if he's given enough time. He has a lot of his bio left. The units that were trapped inside the main didn't all die, and he has Vikings. There's no medevacs, but he's not completely screwed. I'm a little worried that this Dark Shrine is going to cause him some trouble, though. Mostly because he needs his economy so much. He's going to be dropping mules left and right. And he has great saturation on this base, actually a little bit more than he needs, but he's doing what he has to do. Getting a third command center is going to be really difficult. At this point, he might just lift his main over to the third. His factory is going to be poked and prodded a bit. Going to actually pick off a Stalker here, so nice catch for aLive. Proxy pylon will be destroyed. There is another one on the left side, though, so he needs to be worried. 2 Dark Templar warped in, but they get shut down, and that's actually really nice to be able to stop those. But now they're going to be warped in again. 3 Dark Templar head towards the natural, and this could be disastrous for aLive. The supply is so close. He's actually pulling his SCVs. He's just going to go for it. Is he going to miss the Dark Templar? Oh my goodness. Fraer sees this. I don't think the Dark Templar should go. I think they should go towards the army. They shouldn't go into the main base. Maybe he could send 1 or just these 2, but he should pull the third one back. He shouldn't send any more. He's sending 2 additional ones. I'm not sure he needs to do this. He's going to shut down the economy, but he was going to do that either way. The Vikings caught off guard. They're going to blink up. One of them gets sniped, but a good number of the Stalkers take some damage. I think with the Dark Templar, though, this game is currently on a clock, basically. It's on a timer. aLive's locking himself in. He's getting a missile turret. His natural's going to be forfeit once more. And these got some moving into the natural. All of these probes are in jeopardy. The army is not in position for Fraer to deal with this. This is actually really, really bad. I'm not sure if there's actually Dark Templar here. Yes, there was a Dark Templar here. Scan does go down. I feel like with the army positioning for aLive, though, Fraer can move in with force fields. This army is separated. He's going to cut off all these Marauders. They'll die horrible, painful, fiery deaths. And I think this is what Fraer needed to secure this game. His bio is split up. The Dark Templar doing so much damage. 4 kills on this DT. All of these units is doing so much. And even without upgrades, Fraer is a monster. Only the 1-1 for aLive. He never went for that 2-2. Never got the upgrade advantage that he really was looking for. And I think this is going to be it. The rest of his forces are going to get chewed up inside Fraer's base. Maybe if he kills the Nexus, we could get a base trade scenario. But there we go. That's dead. And Fraer only has what's in his main. There are no minerals left. His natural command center is about to burn down. Oh, my goodness. This game has gotten ridiculous. I really don't know what to say. He also lost all of the Vikings And there's one Colossi left, though. The army supply for aLive is insane. But I think this is a draw, actually. This, I mean, if he can he lift? Can he? This could be a draw. There's no, yeah, there's no way that Fraer can produce any air units if aLive can make it maybe here. But yeah, can the Stalkers blink there? I don't think they can. I think that's just map art. That command center might actually be safe for a draw. I think a Stalker could hit him from here though, or here at least. I don't actually know where you would go. I don't know if these maps are designed to allow draws, but yeah, it looks like he's actually gonna get away with this. He's gonna float his buildings. I guess, you know, if he loses this match, if he loses this game, he loses the series. He's down 2-1. This is all he can do, I guess. Wow. I guess he's still alive. He's floating these buildings away, but I'm mostly curious whether or not he can force a draw here. What a crazy game! aLive with such a smaller army, lost all of his army, but did just barely enough damage to force this draw. There's no way he can really take bases versus the Dark Templar that are scattered across the map, of course. The Zealots that are everywhere, the Observers on the field. But this is... These barracks will actually push each other away. Fraer wants to wait a second, wants to see if he can kill these buildings before he allows it to become a draw. So this... He's trying to hit these barracks, but his Stalkers can't hit the barracks. His Stalkers can't hit the barracks. Oh my goodness, aLive, 0 supply to 62. We're going to have a regame. We're going to have a regame. This is going to be insane. Draw from Fraer. Oh my goodness. I don't see draw. Fraer has range. No, that's it. He can't hit it. He can't hit the barracks. GG. It's a draw. Oh my god. What a sick game. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Well guys, I think it's going to be on the same map too, so stay tuned. We'll get you right back into this next game as soon as we can. If you guys are enjoying the casting, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at QuanticNate. And I believe there's a Reddit thread for this, and I would really appreciate any comments about my casting. I really like casting for RSL. I hope they keep me casting stuff for them. I'd love to cast the playoffs, so any comments here would be greatly appreciated. But we're gonna get right back into this lobby. We'll get into the next game of this game. But I have to say, aLive did exactly what he needed to do to stay in this series, and that was pretty crazy.